Good afternoon. It's a beautiful Saturday, and for me, it is day 9 of my exciting journey. How am I feeling today? Last 24 hours were a roller coaster. They were not easy. I mentioned a little bit yesterday how I woke up feeling good, but my energy crashed big time. Around noon, I couldn't write, and I was just sat down and relaxed. Significant bowel movement, which is strange. And a shower later, and I charged for the rest of the day. But late evening, I was feeling kind of crappy. And I've been actually, including the primer, I've been at this for 20 days now and dealing with exhaustion. And then today, again, I slept all right last night. Slept in, trying to give myself some time to recharge. But I woke up feeling good this morning, but tired. Tired is not the right word. I feel fine. I feel like I have all the energy I need. It's just very shallow. I can't go very far before I run out. But I don't have that feeling of, I'm just exhausted. So it's much better described as just a very shallow level of energy, whereas I'm used to living my life with a fairly deep, almost inexhaustible form of energy. So that's definitely a challenge. Trying to take it easy today. Couple little details I noticed: my HRV, heart rate variability. At the times where I was feeling the most exhausted, the most tired, it dropped into the teens. And also noticed that my heart rate overall has balanced out a little bit. It's back to the high 50s for its resting heart rate. So it's not rushing like it is before. Also at night, for a while there I was in the high 60s. I'm back down into the high 50s. My normal is in the low 50s, high 40s, so I'm on my way. Weight is another indicator of what is going on. I'm obviously not eating anything. My water intake is very consistent, as is the supplement intake, but I dropped, I've been dropping 1.5 to 2 pounds per day. Yesterday to today, I dropped over 2 pounds. So my body is burning fuel like crazy, but I don't have it available to me. So clearly that shows that I have some serious burn going on. I did rather a lot of research in an effort to try and understand what is going on in my body. I have a history of at least 3 instances of traumatic brain injury in my life. Bicycle, skiing, and bicycle. Plus, I'm a grappler, so choking is a certain thing I've been dealing with for years. But it's the traumatic brain injury that has definitely left its mark. I would say that just as impactful as the traumatic brain injury is my reliance on the standard American diet, and reliance on processed foods, gluten, sugar, and the food addiction, which I know I have, and all the harm that it has done to my brain. One thing I have noticed is that when I get, once I got off gluten in particular, and I let my body purge, I have not had a migraine since. It's been about 3 years. I used to have migraines consistently. They're gone. But on the occasion that I do let myself have a little bit of gluten, I feel a distinct headache right along the left hemisphere of my brain down to the left side of my neck. And especially for the last couple of days, I've had a very pulsating, not painful, but very pulsating, active sensation down that exact same path on the left side of my brain. And it radiates down to the left side of my neck. There's something going on upstairs. That's one of my biggest hopes, is that this long-term fast will allow my brain to heal from the impacts that it's absorbed, as well as the abuse that I've given it through food. And as far as I can tell, it's really working, because I don't want to have a stroke down the road, and I don't want to have any cognitive decline. And there is nothing out there that is more effective in clearing up brain injuries than extended fasting like this, especially the nature of injuries that I have, which hopefully are not that severe. So that's encouraging to understand what's going on. I think it's definitely there. The other portion, it's hard to quantify how much and such, of what's going on in my head is definitely addiction related. My primary addiction is food. And I've come to understand that it is no less more or less significant than cocaine or heroin or whatever. And as you know, I was at one point nearly 400 pounds, and I've lost half of that. And this is the last phase of that weight loss journey that began more than 10 years ago. And I've largely kept it off, but addictions. I've created pathways in my brain dealing with food, and they're very negative. And now that I have completely eliminated food from my life, those pathways are going crazy, and my brain has to adapt to the sudden imbalance of dopamine and serotonin, which definitely accounts for at least part of the anxiety and the discomfort that is coming from my brain. So I would like to believe, given that I feel largely comfortable everywhere else, my body seems good. I'd like to believe that the majority of my energy is going to fuel my brain and the healing thereof, which was my first priority to begin with, because I could definitely tell that I was having cognitive issues. Nothing disabling, but when you're used to having a sharp mind and you're starting to feel a little bit slow, it's really disconcerting. So this is definitely a bonus. Plus, my mind works better when I'm in shape. The more body fat I've got on me, the slower I am. I've been able to tell that for years. So that's my spiel on my brain. Smart subject. So what I should have said at the end of that little section was, look at your own body. It's telling you what's going on. For me, I can feel the activity going on in my head. It's obvious. There's a rushing sensation. There's pulsating sensation. It's not painful, but it's there. But in the past, and I expect also in my future, I've had, when it was working on my shoulder, oh, that hurt. You could tell that was going on. So, and it takes a lot of energy to heal. So in your own body, it will help to understand what's going on just by paying attention to it. A subject I'd like to address has to do with chalking up too much of the symptoms and the discomfort to the process of fasting. And I definitely found that I am guilty of having headaches or exhaustion or anxiety or just feeling crappy or shortness of breath, all that kind of stuff that is common to fasting, and just saying, it's because of the fast. And then as a connection to it, I therefore assume that the only way that I can get rid of it is through eating. And I have to understand that that's not the case. My digestive system is shut down. My body wants my digestive system shut down. It's happy that way. I found that when I'm breathing shallowly and I'm feeling anxiety, that breathing exercises, I use the Wim Hof method, will solve it almost completely. When I'm having problems with sleep, adjusting my activity level will do it. If I'm feeling really crappy and overwhelmed, I'm probably overexerting myself. I need to back off a little bit. I've had on the last fast, I had a real issue with cold. I felt really cold. This fast, for the first 10 days, and at this rate I'm going to continue, I've continued with cold shower every day, which totally recalibrates my perception of cold. My point being, just because you're feeling something, don't assume that it's because of the fast. It obviously is being driven ultimately by the fast, but it has solutions that are not eating. The solutions are not supposed to be going back to eating or breaking the fast. I'm just saying, don't fall into the trap that I did, that I just assumed that there was no other option, because since it was begun by the fast, it could only be ended by breaking the fast, and that's not true. I could break the symptoms by being creative and finding ways to get rid of those symptoms. So that's my little spiel on that. It's not all the fast. Be creative. Don't suffer when there's no reason to suffer. Fast is already hard enough. We need everything we can do to stick with this. So I'd like to end, same subject, sustainability. It's more of a recap because I addressed it already. The way that my mind works is I need to understand what is going on. And understanding where the symptoms are coming from, understanding why my body is so tired while I'm burning fat like crazy. I mean, that's from a calorie perspective, which is total BS when it comes to dieting. but it does help for actual measuring fuel. Why am I burning such a phenomenal amount of fuel? But I'm so tired. That energy is going somewhere. It has to be. And the only explanation is it's going to healing. And since I don't feel much activity in my body, that means that at least the predominant amount of energy is going, for me, up here right now, which I'm thrilled with. And I can't wait to enjoy the benefits of a clearer and healthier brain and mind for the rest of my life. Not just going through the fast and just assuming that the pain is ethereal and incomprehensible. I want to know what's going on to the best of my ability. Some things I'm not going to understand. That's fine. But things I can, I do understand. One other thing that I decided on today. You've heard me say it's a 40-day fast, but it breaks when I have the natural, genuine onset of hunger. All right, that's cool, but that's incomprehensible. That basically means I'm going to break the fast sometime. I'm struggling with motivation. I don't like this. This is not fun. It's worth it, and I want to finish it off. But again, the voices in that circle are saying, this really sucks. And you can get around this. You can end all this comfort by indulging in those really delicious fried eggs with a couple of hot dogs in it. So I made for breakfast this morning for the rest of the family. So I decided to pick a number that I'm going to work towards. And the number I decided to pick was 21. My goal is 21 days. Am I going to go past it? Yeah. But the one I'm fixing in my mind is 21 days. That is the typical number of days that the brain requires to unwire a pathway and rewire a new one. Some people say it that takes 21 days to establish a habit. It takes more than that. It takes 21 days just to wire the brain for a new habit. It takes a couple of months to become accustomed to it. But 21 days is a level that I can understand. It would give my brain a legitimate, comprehensible, understandable reason, amount of time that I would want to fast for my brain to develop new solid pathways. And with healthy pathways, I'll be far more capable of going forward in a sustainable and intelligent way, of truly succeeding in building a healthy relationship with food, a joyous and satisfying relationship with food, not having the risk of wanting to go back to any form of emotional or abusive eating ever again. 21 days is where the pathways form. Right, I can get that. I can go for that. Plus, I did 17 last time, so 21 doesn't seem like that much more. So, giving myself a definitive goal rather than a more ethereal goal of 40-ish days is good. And when I hit 21, I'm going to put together another definitive goal that I can work towards to help keep myself mentally and emotionally able to see this through to the end. Because I won't lie, long-term fasting is not easy. It's easier for some, but for me, I've built up some issues because I'm a risk taker and I'm an explorer and adventurer. I do stuff. As a result of that, I tend to build up injuries and I tend to mess things up, from which I have to heal. And the fast is attacking them all at once. Worth it. So worth it. So that's my plan. 21 is the one I'm going to look for. And appreciate your watching this, and you have my support and prayers if you are also on this path. Signing off for day 9. I'm looking for double digits tomorrow.